Cecily, roll call, please. Counselor Gorley.
Here.
Counselor Richards.
Here.
Counselor Sanchez.
Here.
Counselor Thorstad.
Here.
Counselor Trask. President Pro Tem Mueller. And Mayor Coleman. Present. Please let the record show that there are 5 present and 2 absent. There is a family emergency with Greg Pro Tem Mueller. So let's move on to the first item on our agenda is the consent agenda. We have 2 items in there with 3 minutes. Please let me know if you'd like to pull anything or if you'd like to make a motion to approve it all.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion to approve the consent agenda and a second. Cecily, please call for a vote. Counselor Sanchez?
Yes.
Counselor Thorstad?
Yes.
Mayor Coleman? Yes. Counselor Gorley?
Yes.
Counselor Richards?
Yep.
Let the record show that we have 5 ayes and no nays to approve the consent agenda. Moving on to the next item on our agenda, recognition of visitors and hearing of petitions. Before we get to the public hearing, I will call the people forward who have signed in to make public comment. We have Ben Roche. Please come forward and state your name and address into the microphone, please. Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
It's close enough. Roach.
Roche. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Ben Roach. I live at 2551 Boston Street in Albany, Oregon, and I am the chair of the Linn County Republican Party. So I'm here tonight just to address the council and get on public record things that have happening recently with the council elections here in Sweet Home. As the chair of the Linn County Republican Party, we support all Republicans equally. We had 9 registered Republicans register for 3 Sweet Home City Council positions. And we solicited all of those councilors basically a letter saying if they'd like support from the party, that they could reach out to us for support. We could list their candidate statements on our website, etc., or maybe even get financial support through our Candidate Assistance Committee. None of the candidates that ran for Sweet Home City Council solicited us for any support. We did list every one of their names on our website at linngop.com, but I want to make something really clear. You're going to notice that there are a number of campaign signs throughout Sweet Home that are supporting certain candidates. In some political spheres, some candidates are more equal than others. And in the Republican Party, all equals candidates on the Republican side, we treat them equally, we treat them fairly. What I want to point out is that when people are putting out signs, they need to follow codes and ordinances and political action committee guidelines. The Linn County Republican Party does that. Some of the signs out there we're finding, we're getting complaints to our party at our phone number that these signs are not in compliance with either political action committee requirements, Oregon statute, or even sign ordinances. So I want to make sure that everyone understands on the record that the Linn County Republican Party is in no way tied to the Conservative Alliance and the CISC PAC. Those are on those signs that I see around town. So we're going to be sending out a communication to all of our supporters, but our supporters are limited. It's only about 2,000 people in the entire county of Linn County that get our emails. So I'm just hoping for more broad communication that the Linn County Republican Party, the official political action committee for the Republican Party, has disavowed the Conservative Alliance, the CISC PAC, and any of their political messaging. It does not reflect our values. It does not reflect our PAC, and it was not funded by our PAC or our financing. So I just want to make that clear because the county is not influencing the city council here. It is up to those candidates to campaign on their own behalf, and that's what I want to make sure that the city was aware of.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next person who's registered is Robert Egner. Please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Hello, Robert Egner. I'm at 28628 Ridgeway Road, and I'm actually going to be reiterating a lot of what he just said, unfortunately. I'm here tonight to speak as an elected precinct committee person for Precinct 46 here in Sweet Home, as a member of Linn County Republican Central Committee. There's been signage put up through town and misleading mailers sent to address with a slate of 4 candidates. Although they may all be qualified candidates, they have unfortunately entrusted their candidacy into a group named Linn County Conservative Alliance. This group has a history of illegal campaign finance actions and was once named CISC. They were removed from the Linn County Republican Party roughly 4+ years ago because Matt, the chair of from Texas, and Rose, his director from Lebanon, were unwilling to fix these campaign violations, violation actions, and refused to follow proper laws. I know because I was there. To this day, they did not record their expenses. They do not record their expenses properly or timely into Orastar. Again, this group isn't even in our local area and funded from outside finances. The real Linn County Republican Party wants to ensure that the voters know that the endorsements on these mailers and the illegal signage for this 4-person slate are not endorsements from the Linn County Republican Party. We also want to ensure that the current Sweet Home counselors and their remarks on these mailers are not supported by the elected body and the precinct committee people as a whole. Please be it the request of our party to do our own due diligence to research the candidates running for council in this amazing town. Thank you and good luck with your future and hopefully properly elected council.
Thank you. Don Miller, regarding general comments. Name and address.
Okay, so my name is Dawn Miller, and I'm here on a little different note than what has been previously said to me or said here to the council tonight. I come with a little different approach about that. I just need to understand that everyone on this council understands the definition of nonpartisan. I'm getting that it is free from party affiliation, biases, or designations. I think we all agree on that. So now I direct your attention to these, where we have council members commenting in what I would call a nonpartisan fashion. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you make statements about the council or the candidates running, I think you're kind of stepping out of your area. I don't know if this is coming across as it's meant to be, but I just think this was really poor, and I don't think it screams nonpartisan to the voting public out there. I also have noticed that in the Sweet Home Citizens Want a Clean Slate, everything that's outlined in this has been something that I have talked to each and every one of these council members at one time or another. This is what is going on. We have a broken council. I've said it. I'll say it again. I'm going to say it until the cows come home. Our council is broken. We are not acting for the community, not for the betterment of the community, nor as the people that are up here. They're not able to do what they need to do. There is a force that drives this council. I've said it before. I said it at the forum, and I'm here to say it again. We have a supermajority that's sitting on this council. And from what I've seen from all the previous council meetings that I've attended, if it's not in the best interests of the supermajority, it's never going to make a fly. Nothing is going to pass here because people that want change are outnumbered. Totally outnumbered. They're not heard. The community members come here. They're not heard either. You know, I've asked people, why don't you come to council and say what you're telling me at the grocery store, at the gas station? at the farmer's market. Why don't you come to council and say this stuff? And they all say, because it falls on dead ears.
Thank
They
you,
don't
Dawn.
get results. They don't get, they get nothing. They get a dead face stare back at them. I'm here and I'm not going away. I am going to be the thorn that Sweet Home needs. And when a proper council's seated, I think then we can move forward as we should.
Thank you, Dawn. Moving on to the next item on the agenda is the public hearing regarding the city manager recruitment. We have a number of people who have signed up to make comments regarding that. We'll call Nancy Patton first. Please state your name and address for the record.
Nancy Patton, 3041 Foothills Drive, Sweet Home, Oregon. I should have filled out a form for the last bunch, what they said too. I'm just going to briefly say something. I am one of the
Oh, wait,
people.
I'm sorry. I need to actually open the public hearing with a time. So
Okay,
if you
3
just a
minutes?
moment.
Yeah.
No. I need to state as the mayor that
Oh.
I'm opening the public hearing regarding the city manager recruitment at 6:41 p.m.
Okay.
And now you can go ahead and say your name and address again
Okay.
for the
Nancy
record.
Patton, 3041 Foothills Drive, Sweet Home, Oregon. Can I still make a remark about the last thing?
No, this is just about
Okay.
the city manager recruitment. Thank you.
So I went to the city council meeting and candidates forum, and unfortunately, I felt like a lot of them were very angry for different reasons. That kind of upset me, but I thought a lot about it, and they want to make some changes. But I also believe that we have good council people that are still here that are going to keep going and keep making good changes. But what I wanted to talk about is the city manager. I liked Kelsey. I felt like she moved. I'm not going to be here to bash Kelsey. She's not here. She was my friend, but she moved too fast for our community. Some stuff like, for example, Quarry Park, we're not really getting things done there. The new park on Osage is not really getting things done. So we have no money to do those things. So I felt like those things should not have gone as fast as they did. And I don't know how much communication. I know you guys have to approve everything that the manager does, but sometimes I didn't even know about some of those things that were being done. I've talked to you, Ms. Mayor, about having community get-togethers more often. I know you guys have it where you meet with everybody, but we really, really, really need, and I took notes. These are my notes from the candidates forum, rather than just watching YouTube. I mean, I was there. Everybody said we have to communicate better somehow. I mean, Adam does a great job on I think you do Facebook now, don't you, Adam? Okay, he does a great job on that. So there's a lot of stuff going out. I tend to be somebody that I try to watch everything that's going on, read it in the paper, the Tell and Sell, whatever. But there are still, like Ashley did beautification today. There was one person there that she didn't know about tonight. She didn't know about there's just somehow there still needs to be better communication. And so I know some counselor brought up maybe we should have more flyers that go out in the mail. I know it's going to cost a little bit of money, but for the new city manager, I'd like to see us have a person that can really, really, really communicate with the public. I'm just going to throw this out here. Also, I think it needs to be somebody that's local, if at all possible. Like when they hired Robert for the Jamboree, that was a huge plus for our community. He's lived here all of his life. He knows the people. He knows how we function and how we don't function. And so I think that's really important. I think there's probably enough intelligent people in our area that could be a city manager rather than always recruiting outside. Again, Kelsey was a good person. I liked her personally, but for me personally, it was just she moved too fast for our community. Whoops. Saved by the bell for you guys.
Thank you,
A lot more to
Nancy.
say. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming. Candace Sturman. Name and address for the record, please.
Candace Sturman, my address is 38961 River Drive. I am here because I'm the new executive director at FAC, in case you didn't know. And we had some conversation, and my staff asked that I come, well, and most of our residents, and support Chief Ogden. We really feel that he has been extremely helpful and supportive and compassionate. When they get to see him, they don't feel scared of him, like a lot of folks say that you do, especially wearing the badge. And we just really, I was told to make a big deal. They wanted a sign. I didn't bring a sign. So don't yell at me. But they just wanted me to tell you how grateful we are and just ask that we keep him as somebody out here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Candace, for coming.
Thanks, guys.
Gary Jarvis.
My name is Gary Jarvis. My address, you want mailing address or physical address?
Physical address. please.
Physical address 2941 Foothills Drive, Sweet Home, Oregon. The comments that I wanted to make was that I hope that you keep the net relatively small to start with, simply because we do want someone as city manager that has a vested interest in the community, that is not going to be looking at this job as a stepping stone to something greater later. As you know, there one city manager, two city managers ago, that the first time that you opened it up, you weren't able to get sufficient qualified, in your mind, sufficient qualified prospects. And so you opened up recruitment again, and you have that option in front of you now where you can, keep the net small. I mean, full disclosure, this gentleman here is one of my best friends in the world, if not my best friend. Second best friend. Lois is my best friend. But the bottom line is I think we've already got one fantastic candidate. You may get additional candidates as well from which to choose. And if somehow these people do come up short in your estimation, you can cast a wider net and try again. The other thing that I wanted to comment is that I've heard comments at previous meetings that, I have no idea how quickly this is going to get done one way or the other, but if it does flow into the next city council as opposed to the one as it's currently constructed right now, then so be it. But as far as the comments that I've heard that we should put it off, that let the new council decide and like that, if that was the way our council should do business, then we would never make decisions, because 2 years from now, we're going to have another election. So let's wait till they come in so they can make their own choice. I don't like the idea of putting it off. That, we have the vacancy. Once you get sufficient, after the applications closed, the period closes, if you don't have the candidate that you think that you want, then move on. But if you have the candidate, then do it. Slam the gavel and say this is our person. Anyway, that's my 2 cents worth. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person is Terry Martin.
Good evening, Terry Martin, 2812 Fur Court, Sweet Home. And I'm echoing things I've said before. We've got a good candidate sitting right here in the room. He's a man of integrity, leadership. He's got skills with project management, time management, problem solving, critical thinking, communication, social perceptiveness. Those are all things that come right off of what qualities for a city manager. What are good qualities in a city manager? Again, we have that right here. Got a man of integrity. He's vested in this community. I think it's foolish to be looking outside. We don't have a good track record with that. As was just said, you've got a job to do, and now's the time to do it. To not do so, you're being irresponsible of your duties that you're elected to do. So consider what people are saying. We've got a good candidate, unless someone can say differently. He's been a great chief for us. He's worked very well with the school district. and we're lucky to have him as we were lucky to have Kelsey. I would hate to see us lose another really good candidate because of our inability to get along and do what's right for our community. Jason can do that. I think he can bring people together. And I really hope that this is drawn to a close and we elect someone. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. And do I have it correct that Don would like to come forward again?
Okay, Dawn Miller, 331 8th Avenue, Sweet Home, Oregon. What I have to say about the city manager recruitment is simply we have reacted every city management hiring. We have done it in a reactive fashion, not in a proactive. We have basically put the cart before the horse. We run people in here. We don't get to know them. We don't get to understand what they see for Sweet Home in its entirety for all community members, whether they're in the city, right over the line of the city, or way out in the county. We have a person that is vested in this community, and he's doing an outstanding job with what he's been given or thrown into. I don't know how you want to say it. But he has stepped up and approached this mess we're in a proactive fashion. So far, I've seen him one step ahead of every disaster that we're staring down. And I'm just saying, our council is not functioning proper. I'm going to say it again. And I think for us to go out now and search for that perfect city manager that's going to save Sweet Home, we need to stop, slow down, and let the man who has stepped up to clean up this mess we're in continue to do so until we get our act together as a council. That's what I have to say.
Thank you, Don. Okay, so I'm going to be closing this public hearing at 6:52 p.m. and moving on to the next. Thank you, everybody, for coming forward and for speaking to that matter. And continue, if you have thoughts to share, you're welcome to always email your counselors. But moving on to the next item on our agenda, there is no new business, ordinance and bills. We have a third reading on the shopping cart ordinance, if the council so chooses.
So yes, it would be staff's recommendation that council conduct that there be a motion for a third reading on the ordinance bill number 3 for 2024, titled Sweet Home Ordinance for Recovery of Abandoned Shopping Carts. Does council want to make a motion?
Oh, so moved as recommended.
We have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. Sorry, City Manager Ogden, the link was taking us to a different place in our
sorry.
packet, so everybody was trying to catch up there. So we have a motion and a second on the table. Is there any discussion regarding this? No? Hearing none. Cecily, please take a vote.
Mayor Coleman,
Yes.
Councillor Gorley,
Yes.
Councillor Richards,
Yep.
Councillor Sanchez,
Yes.
Councillor Thorstad.
Yes.
Let the record show that we have 5 ayes, no nays, and 2 absent to move this on to the third reading on the shopping cart ordinance.
Okay, this will be by title only. Ordinance bill number 3 for 2024, ordinance number blank, Sweet Home Ordinance for the Recovery of Abandoned Shopping Carts.
Great. Sounds great.
All right,
Moving on to the next item.
Next
Yeah.
item is another ordinance.
Point of order.
Yeah.
You do need to have a motion to adopt the ordinance now that you've had 3 readings. So if
Great,
you want it
let's
to be
do it.
enacted, that's what we'd be looking for, motion to adopt.
I did that just for you
Yeah, thank you.
as your first meeting as our city attorney. Thank you for their stepping in and calling a point of order. All right. Council, if you'd like to adopt this ordinance as our ordinance, since we've had 3 readings, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt this as an ordinance. Cecily, please call for a vote.
Counselor Gorley,
Yes.
Counselor Richards.
Yep.
Counselor Sanchez.
Yes.
Counselor Thorstad.
Yes.
Mayor Coleman.
Yes. Let the record show that we have 5 ayes, no nays, and 2 absent to adopt the shopping cart ordinance.
And then just by way of information, I believe at the last meeting, there was a vote to move it to 3rd reading at this meeting. And
Yeah.
so by my recollection, we can just go ahead with the reading by title only, and then you would only need to vote on the adoption of the ordinances.
We like that. There you go. Earning your keep already. All right,
The bar is
moving
fairly
on.
low.
I love it. So moving on to the next item on our agenda, ordinance 2024 Parks System Plan.
So yes, this ordinance has also previously been read in full, as well as by title only. And so staff recommends that council would make a motion for the reading of this ordinance by title only.
So moved as recommended.
I have a motion.
I'll second.
So just to clarify, I believe we can just proceed with the reading and then vote on the ordinance, correct? Correct. Okay. So would anyone like to amend their motion? Or can we proceed to the final reading? I'm sorry, and have the reading and the approval.
Yes, so go ahead and read it by title only, and then I'll just ask Counselor Richards. Just a moment. He's going to read it by title only, and then maybe you want to amend your motion to just approve it as an ordinance after he's done.
Ordinance Bill number 4 for 2024, ordinance number 1327, Sweet Home Ordinance adopting the 2024 Park System Plan as a sub-element of the City of Sweet Home Comprehensive Plan and replacing all prior Parks System plans. Now we need a motion to adopt the ordinance.
So I just make a motion to amend it?
To adopt it.
Oh, to adopt it, yes.
Thank you for amending your motion to adopt it. Appreciate that. And would the second also like to stand, Counselor Thorstad?
I will second.
Thank you. Thank you for working with us. The reason that we have all of these readings and moments and opportunities is that if anybody were to ever want to change or amend an ordinance in this process, that it gives the public plenty of opportunity to do so, or a counselor plenty of opportunity to do so. So we now have a motion to accept this ordinance and a second on the table. Any discussion? Cecily, please call for a vote.
Counselor Gorley,
Yes.
Counselor Richards,
Yes.
Counselor Sanchez.
Yes.
Counselor Thorstad,
Yes.
Mayor Coleman.
Yes, let the record show that there are 5 ayes, no nays, and 2 absent to adopt ordinance the 2024 Park System Plan. I'm going to shorten it. Next item on the agenda, telecommunications franchise agreement with Ziply Fiber.
Okay, this ordinance, I will read it and then ask council to make a motion to adopt it. Ordinance Bill number 5 for 2024, ordinance number 1328, an ordinance granting to Ziply Fiber Pacific LLC a non-exclusive franchise for the provision of telecommunications services within the city of Sweet Home and stating an effective date. And we need a motion from council to adopt this ordinance.
So moved.
So I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Cecily, please call for a vote.
Counselor Richards.
Yep.
Counselor Sanchez.
Yes.
Counselor Thorstad,
Yes.
Mayor Coleman.
Yes.
Counselor Gorley.
Yes.
Let the record show that we have 5 ayes and no nays and 2 absent to approve the telecommunications franchise agreement or ordinance. Moving on, reports of committees. Are there any reports from committees?
Oh, I have one. The traffic committee never did meet
Okay,
again.
that's too bad. Within the Consent agenda, there were some committee appointments, if you guys noticed that, which is we appreciate everybody who steps up to serve on those committees. And the reason that the traffic committee did not meet, I heard, was because it lacked a quorum. So anybody who's interested in participating in committees can speak to Cecily, and that actually is a great way to get your voice heard in the community. Moving on, are there any other committee reports? Department reports. Library Services Director, did you want to share anything from your report?
I just wanted to show that we had received a grant from System of Care for Lynn and Benton County for teen services. We'll be purchasing different hygiene products and new games and a variety of other things just for teens.
Congratulations on that grant. That's wonderful. All right. Planning and Building Manager.
I don't have any additions to my report, but I do want to bring up that the transportation system plan open house is next Wednesday, the 30th at 5 o'clock here. And so if you want to have any input on our transportation system plan, this is a good time to come and listen to our consultants and talk to staff. Shortly after that, we will start doing the public hearings here come January. So this is your opportunity to have an input on that.
Thank you so much. Anything else from any directors? No, not at this time. City Manager's report.
Yeah, I have a few things. I just wanted to remind council and the public of the Nandina Street paving project that's going to take place on November 4th. It's going to start on November 4th and will be completed by Friday, November 8th. That project is going to be between 9th and 12th Avenue on Nandina Street. And so I learned today that Public Works actually went out and made contact, knocked on doors of residents in that area just to follow up and ensure that they were informed of that. Also putting some door hangers on just for good communication. So we're excited about getting that started and completed. It's been needed for quite some time. Just a reminder that the Long Street speed changes have been put into place. We've been pushing out that communication on social media for quite some time. Just as a reminder, the first change is on between Mountain View and 49th Avenue on Long Street. It has been reduced to 30 miles per hour. And then between 18th Avenue and Mountain View, it's 25 miles per hour. So anyway, just a reminder to watch your speed at those locations. I have an exciting update for the grant that I talked to council about for the PD. I wrote a grant to update our radio system so that we could essentially jump onto counties' radio towers. And I was pretty excited. We got the full amount. The grant was through the Emergency Telephone Association, and we applied for that through the Lynn County Sheriff's Office. And so the amount was $17,438, and it was basically going to be used to enhance our Motorola base station at the police department, and also some of those costs will go into reprogramming our portable radios so that we can hop on to the county's radios. I'm pretty excited because the reach of the radios is going to be significantly larger than what it currently is. So from what I understand, we can be nearly halfway to the coast and still be able to communicate on radios, and their system is being upgraded, and there's other agencies coming on, and it's just growing and getting better. So we are excited about jumping on this project. So thanks to the Sheriff's Office and their grant committee for giving us these monies. The next update that I wanted to give was the tort claim report. Just by way of reminder, I know that I communicated with all of you about this already, but I just wanted to also let the public know about our ongoing efforts to address the Green Peter drawdown. And really, our goal is to protect our community's water. So a couple of weeks ago, in collaboration with the City of Lebanon, we filed a tort claim against the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. The claim was necessary due to the financial and operational strain caused by the elevated turbidity levels in Foster Lake, which is our primary source for getting good drinking water. Some of the key points of the tort claim: we're seeking over $11 million in damages to cover the costs for critical upgrades to ensure long-term resilience of our water system. As you all know, and I've communicated this before, the drawdowns have required increased use of products at our Public Works water treatment facility, supplies, professional services, in order to keep our water safe, which has obviously impacted our budget. Our claim includes vital infrastructure improvements such as upgraded pumps, filtration systems, backup generators, anything that we need to solve this problem long term. So looking ahead, I just wanted to say that this legal action isn't just about, recovering costs. It's also about holding the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers accountable for the impact of that their operations have had on our water system. So yeah, we're seeking compensation, but not just that. We're pushing for accountability through improved practices that will protect our water supply and ensure Sweet Home is better prepared for future challenges. And ultimately, it's about standing up for our residents and taking firm steps to defend the community's water supply into the future. So that is the update. I will keep council updated as we get any new information on this. We're hoping that we're successful. We're really wanting the community to see that we're being proactive about this, and we are taking this seriously to protect our water supply. So the last thing I wanted to let council and the public know about is Robert Snyder. As you know, he's retired. He was our city attorney, and there's going to be a retirement party for him at City Hall this Thursday on October 24th at 2 p.m. So just a reminder, Robert served our city for over 43 years, giving us all kinds of legal expertise and advice, and we just want to honor him. So I just invite the public and city council to stop by here for a few minutes on the 24th and wish Robert a happy retirement. So.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's a great report. Mayor's report. I just have a couple of things. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who showed up to the candidate forum. I thought it was an event that was well attended, but also appreciated everybody who's running for office. And I wanted to thank the Sweet Home Community Foundation and the New Era for hosting that event, as I've been asked a few times recently regarding information regarding candidates. That's not something that the city puts on our website, nor is something that the city can campaign in any way for candidates. If people want to find out more information regarding their stance on things, they can go ahead and Google them or go to Sweet Home Community Foundation or the New Era. I also thought this was really interesting. I read this article recently. It's called A Win-Win for Peoria Heights. And it's an interesting article that talks about, and I'll share this with counselors if they're interested, how they actually have used their police chief as a city manager as well in dual roles. And the point of the article was to say how much money they had saved in their budget in doing so. It's a fascinating article that just happened to come out 2 days ago, so I thought it might be an interest to you all. So that's one thing. I also wanted to say thank you to those in the community who care so much that they reach out and they speak into issues. It's really, we have a great community, and I'm grateful for everybody who participates in it. So moving on to the next item on our agenda, council business for the good of the order. Remember, this is a business meeting. And so what business do we have and what is for the good of the order? Anything?
Madam Mayor, may I?
Yes.
So Chief, when you were giving a report on the drawdown, is there any sort of information about the emergency declaration and what that entails? I know that some people have been requesting water like we gave them last time, if in fact we have negative impact on our water.
Yeah, if we get to a point where we have negative impact on our water, of course, Director Springman would let me know about that. And then we would first reach out to Lynn County, who would then help us out with those resources. So we would first start with them. And if we needed water, Lynn County said that they would be able to start that process.
Okay, I think people are really excited to hear about that. I know that there's some seniors in the community that struggled getting that last time. So if there were people willing to help distribute that, if it's necessary, I'm just glad that it's available if it's necessary. I also want to thank the Sweet Home Community Foundation, everybody that came out for the forum, the New Era. I heard it was the only one put on in Lynn County, and it was done so very professionally. So thank you for doing that for our community. I know that Tailor Made has a candidate with Coffee with Candidate tomorrow at 9 a.m. So if you didn't get to go down to the community forum, you can go to Tailor Made Coffee with the Candidates at 9 a.m. And I just want to say thank you, Chief, for everything that you've done and are doing proactively, like they said, for our community. It means a lot. Thank you.
Any other council business for the good of the order?
I do, Madam Mayor. Like two things. I think I want to thank the high school and everybody for putting on that forum for all the new counselor candidates. I thought it was great. But I think that the city and the counselors need to do better on communication and trying to educate the public on how the city works and all that jazz. So I propose to Chief, I'm not going to call him city manager because he's a chief, but he'll be city manager one day maybe. That I think it'll be a really inexpensive way to communicate with the public by creating an app that everybody can download, get some updates, all kinds of good stuff. When we have meetings, when we have committee meetings, everybody gets dates and text messages and all that stuff. So I think it's a good avenue that we can look at. The other is, I think, going to communication with the public. I think we need to somehow, I don't know this process, to educate the people how the hiring of the city manager and the interim works, what the timeline is, what we can do, what we can't do. The public is very strong on what we should do, but I think we need to educate on what we can do. And when the timeline is, because he's only has 6 months as an interim, what do we do after that? I think we should have like a public forum or something. That's all I have.
Okay. Let's evaluate what that would look like, and we can get back to that topic. Just to keep people informed too, if you go to sweethomor.gov/stay-connected, people can sign up for meeting notices, job openings, planning notices, communication, news and information, community health committee, and all the committees there, Sweet Home Park System Plan, and Budget Committee. You can receive notifications anytime any of those meetings occur, anytime anything news is released regarding those items. So that's just one way in the meantime, as we're working on communication. That this has been up on the website for a while. I just don't think it's been something that people have known about. You can sign up to receive communications through that. So that's www.sweethomor.gov/stay-connected. And then we can evaluate whether an app or other ways will be cost effective. Any other business for the good of the order?
Well, honestly, I'd recommend that you go on Facebook and share that with everybody, because I know they'd love to see you do that. And I think it's a really good message to get out beyond the chamber. And so I look forward to that. Because I love it when you get on Facebook and do little videos for people. And so I think it's a really good idea.
Okay. Well, I can make comments and make a video and send it out there. So we'll see what happens. But I don't know if that's something people always enjoy. So Facebook is a fascinating medium. Any other council business for the good of the order? Seeing none, I'm going to close this meeting at 7:14 p.m.
You're good. You're good.
That's funny because it's something that's been there for a while, but I don't think anybody knows.